Hello everyone and welcome back. I am Duke Silver. Today we are going to be playing some Waddle. And yeah, we're going to start off with a Lonely Prince here. I mean, it's a 1-1, but fortunately for us, opponent did go with a Shrink Drink there, so we get a kind of a free combat. There's a Polywoggle in the shop, but we really want to roll just to try and find some royals. Unfortunately, we didn't find a royal in two shops, but we do manage to tie against Skip. I mean, that's maybe more beneficial for them than it is against us, but we do find our Cindy here in the next shop with Wizard's Familiar. And yeah, we're just going to hit the Shrink Drink and lock those. Opponent had disconnected before the game started, so unfortunately there was no units on that board, so that's something to keep in mind. Alright, we get to Triple or Familiar as we get one in the shop here. I think Shepherd's Sling is probably the safest pick here. Curse Throne is it's not the worst ever. We've got this 5/5 Frog Prince, but we're just going to speculate on this bounty board here, and we're going to get this cheap Minotaur and cast our For Glory here. And yeah, with the Baby Root, we're just hoping that we can value trade to a win, and we do. So we get our For Glory, which is an Ogre Princess. So the bounty board speculation kind of immediately pays off here. And also we had another Ogre Princess in the shop, which we are just immediately going to snap up. We get our Frog Prince triple, and I think we're going to go with Beaker. With the bounty board, we want to be able to put extra stats onto our Slay characters, and I mean, with the Wizard's Familiar, I think we want to be casting targeted spells anyways, so that's what we're going to do here, and we're going to play a couple of these Ogre Princess in the back line. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not even going to get to attack with them. The opponent only has 4 characters on 3.1. There's a targeted spell, but that's not really the one that we want here. I also considered the Stag, but on 3.2, the Stag feels a little bit late. Like, it's definitely an improvement on the Minotaur in slot 2 there, but I figure we roll instead. And we get paid off for our roll by getting a good witch here, which we're going to be able to support our Ogre Princesses with. And we wanted to find a spell to cast this turn, so I went to sell something for one last roll, and we do find a Luna's Grace, which is fantastic. Lets us put some extra stats onto our Ogre Princess here, which means we get both our slays from the Ogre Princesses. That's going to be a couple characters plus a couple gold, and both Ogre Princesses gave us Wicked Witches, so, and then with one in the shop, we just get a very easy triple there, so that's great. We do find a Crystal Ball, and with the Beaker already and the Golden Familiar, I'm pretty happy to pick up a Crystal Ball and speculate here. Also a Monster Book and a Friendly Spirit in the shop. Just a really, really good shop for us here overall on 4.0. We're just going to skip here and then cast one more spell. We're just going to pump as many stats as we can into this Friendly Spirit now. We do get our Slay with our one Ogre Princess that we have on board now still. And yeah, opponent has a Medusa in slot 7, which does a little bit of work for them, but we do end up dealing them some golden damage there. We're gonna pick up a chicken, which yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you make money off of chickens pretty easily with Waddle. So if you're not buying every chicken you see on Waddle, you should be doing that. There's a Spellweaver, and I think with the Monster Book, with the Golden Familiar, and the Crystal Ball and Beaker, I think picking up Spellweaver, even though it's a bit late, is still worth it here. We go over a Mix-a-Wizzle onto the Ogre Princess just to put some stats onto it, and then we get a River Wish Mermaid, and we're gonna find a way to position this on board here, just to try and get a couple slays and get a couple gold out of our bounty board here. So we're just gonna not play the Wicked Witch this turn, and yeah, we're gonna go for a slay setup. That is a pumpkin over there on 4.1. Opponent's on 5.0, but still. But we do get some slays here with our front line and backed up by the River Wish. So we're gonna get a couple gold here, and we're gonna walk away with the tie against this player who has pumpkin this early. It was also worth noting that player also had a Crystal Ball. Alright, there's an Ogre Princess triple, so that's a 3 cost, hoping for hat, but I mean, treasure map's pretty good. I think we're gonna cut the bounty board now, as like we're just not gonna be leaning into Slay. Like, obviously we've kind of got bigger designs for mages here. Alright, and there is We get a hippo out of our TLK on the Ogre Princess anyways, so we're just going to do some repositioning. And yeah, I completely forget that I had the treasure map, and we accidentally buy the chicken. And yeah, unfortunately we don't even find a forking rod. So that's pretty unfortunate. Also, I forgot to lock the mouse there, just because I was kind of tilted by myself losing the treasure map there. So just like kind of a couple mistakes compounding on one another. We do end up winning that fight, fortunately. So now we kind of have to figure out what we do from here. I mean, we can still do like forking rod things and whatnot. So we take a pair of friendly spirits. Also, the friendly spirit with the beaker stats is still very, very powerful. So that's still something we can do. Also, we still have another shot at hat with these this Spellweaver triple. Unfortunately, we do not get hat. I think we're just going to skip here, as I don't think any of these are better than the 3 of Shields. Like, it's providing some amount of stats, but like honestly, Power Orb and 3 of Shields pretty comparable. But 3 of Shields does get the edge just barely. We really want to find Aeon still. We're going to cast a Genie's Wish at the end of turn, which is going to give us 4 glory here. And I feel like we are pretty strong still, like just with these beaker stats on the friendly spirit, just provides a lot of tempo, and we've been scaling these this familiar also pretty aggressively. Although Tiger does have a Phoenix Feather, so they are quite strong. But fortunately for us, we just have a decent amount more stats even through the Phoenix Feather. And there's that Aeon that we wanted. Also, there's at the end in the shop, and I think we're going to take it. We're just going to go to 6 next turn. As, yeah, we would like to start getting some 6s anyways. We're going to eat the Wombats here, I think. Just because Wombats doesn't really play on board at the moment, and I mean, we just gain 5 health. I mean, we were over 40 anyways, so like we're not hurting for health, but might as well give ourselves a nice buffer here. We do hit the 1 and 3 to slay with the Aeon here, which is fantastic for us. So that's going to give us at least some amount of spell cost reduction. And we're going to make relatively short work of Trophy Hunter here. There's a Mix-a-Wizzle in the shop, which we're going to use on this hippo. Turns into a Golden Baba Yaga, which is fantastic. That goes behind the Aeon for sure. We're going to take Hercules here. And there's a 7-cost Evil Twin, which we're going to fire off onto the Friendly Spirit. And we're going to get Krampus Slay over our 3 of Shields here. We know that this opponent had Hat last time we saw them. So we can steal that. Or we can steal their treasure map that they died with. Which, I mean, is definitely going to be our play here. Because, I mean, after we messed up our treasure map earlier, getting a rebuy on that is really great. Just getting another shot with this treasure map is just like a little bit of redemption here after our mistake earlier. We're gonna TLK the hippo again, and again it turns into Baba Yaga. So I guess it just wanted to be Baba Yaga all along. And yeah, we're just gonna cast a bunch of spells here, throwing stats all around with the beaker. We're going to cast the Evil Twin on the Herc. If we find another Evil Twin this turn, we have a decent amount of gold from the Krampus Slay. And if we can find another one, like that one there, then we get to triple into a 6. And, I mean, into a 7, I guess, with the treasure map. And yeah, we find Black Prism, and I slime it faster than most treasures anyways. Okay, so yeah, I mean, with Black Prism now, like, obviously our scaling is going to be off the charts. We're going to get a level 6 treasure. We're kind of hoping for Mimic here out of this the second Herc treasure. No Mimic for us, but there is a Wand of Weirding, and we take the Wand of Weirding over the Beaker, which I'm not actually sure if it's better here. It's better if we cast like Pigomorphs and stuff like that, but the Beaker might have just been more stats for on our board. Because, I mean, of course, it applies to everything, so yeah, that may have been a mistake, but I mean, I saw Wand, and it just kind of took it. I didn't want to waste too much time, because I wanted to be casting spells here. Buy a cheap tree. And we're gonna sell our chicken just to try and get some more spells in before before the end of the turn here. We don't want to be transforming our board. Unfortunately, our board is just like far too good to be transforming, because we can just completely ruin our comp if we start sharding or TLKing and whatnot. So that's why we're just avoiding those. If we didn't have like a good mage comp already set up, then we would be a lot more inclined to be transforming our board. Opponent steals our Aeon, but we immediately shoot it down, and then we knock Skip out. So now we're just heads up against Phoenix Angel, who remember had Pumpkin as well as Crystal Ball on 4.2. So yeah, they are very scary here. Especially since I'm pretty sure they're at 37 health right now. But I mean, obviously, we're scaling kind of out of control with our Black Prism, so I'm sure we're equally, if not more, scary than they are. But we haven't seen them in a while, so we'll see. Get up to 48 health here, and there's the Scion that we are definitely want here. Yeah, I sell the chicken and we buy the Scion, and we're gonna play it over Herc here. I guess we end up playing Herc over the single monster book, which is probably fine. We don't have time to cast these two spells, so I just lock them for next turn. We get a coin plus a Queen's Grace there, and yeah, it looks like opponent also has Crystal Ball plus Black Prism, but they don't have any spell cost reduction, so they're not going to be scaling nearly at the pace we are. And yeah, you can see we kind of demolish them a little bit here. Free up some space in the shop by buying that Sure Shot just to try and get some more targeted spells. Unfortunately, we don't get any. But yeah, we continue just casting spells. Once again, we don't have a tree because we sold it. So we're gonna pick up another relatively cheap tree here and hope that that pays off. We could have double Pigamorph there, but we still got a few gold left, and I still want to try and find targeted spells if we can. Alright, the only targeted spell here is TLK, unfortunately. So we're actually just gonna sell something out of the shop here, or out of our bench here, and we're gonna cast sorry, completely blanking on the name. We're gonna dream anyways. We're gonna dream into a new hero twice. So we freed up the hand space just in case it's Rumple or Gwen, because getting a Knighthood or Spinning Gold, we would want that on our bench anyways. Spinning Gold, not so much of an issue because you just cast it next turn anyways out of the shop, but still, Knighthood you definitely potentially want it on the bench. And also, in case we get both or something, then having a free space on the bench is valuable. It's just a good habit to get into before you dream anyways. Alright, and yeah, we won that combat pretty handily, so opponent's going to need to do a lot to catch up here. We're just going to cast as many spells as possible. Okay, here I make a kind of a mistake. Like, I wanted to cast this Evil Twin, basically just to try and get another Scion. So we're going to sell out of a couple, we can only sell out of so much. We're going to sell out of Herc and the tree here, but I should have taken the other Wizard's Familiar and maybe cycled something else out of the shop first just to try and get it, because we don't get a Scion. We just don't have the board space or shop space for it. We do get to triple another Wizard's Familiar though, which is very, very large, and unfortunately a kind of a misclick there, and opponent decides to just sell their board and cast For Glory, and I don't really blame them. We were again we were kind of out of control there, and yeah, they saw the writing on the wall and decided to present an empty board rather than concede. So respect to them for letting me click all the buttons up until the very end. So but yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that fun stuff that helps the algorithm. I would very much appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.